My skin is black.
What you looking
My
at?
skin
Yeah,
is black.
I feel so good to be black right now.
is black.
What you look-
Welcome to episode 168 of the BlackNFashion podcast. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and joining us today. Of course, make sure you send in all of your black notes. We want to hear from you. We want to be able to give you any advice or any feedback. And remember, they can always be anonymous if you don't want to share. But we also, of course, need you to tap into our Crazy Client Chronicles. So those definitely should be anonymous because we don't want to get anybody sued, okay? But I think that in our community, feedback is great. So, from any type of situation that you've dealt with a client and you wasn't sure how to handle it and you want to understand how to move forward, trust me, we've all been there. We can all tap into one another. So, today I am joined with KADEEM FYFFE. Well, Alphonso FYFFE. Okay, let me just make sure I get that. He is a Jamaican-American fashion designer, consultant, and author. You see how I put that on there? Author. Yes. He designs under his namesake label, KADEEM ALPHANSO FYFFE, New York, and also serves as the head of design for multiple startups across various active, ready-to-wear categories. His book, Threading the Needle, A Fashion Designer's Guide to Successfully Launching Your First Collection, was published May of 2023. Oh, we're about to celebrate the 1-year anniversary soon. And he debuted it on Amazon as the #1 new release in commercial fashion books. This book is the new go-to back book, resourceful for aspiring designers, with everything you need to know before launching your first collection and being successful in the clothing industry. So, of course, KADEEM has co-branded capsule collection with Shein, so make sure you check that out. Shein times KADEEM ALPHANSO FYFFE, which also debuted in August of 2023. And additionally, he has shown his original ready-to-wear collections at Miami Swim Week and New York Fashion Week. Come on.
It's quite the bio.
Yeah, it's quite the bio. Okay. So I don't start any podcast without my little icebreaker.
Okay.
It's called This or That. Great. So you just gonna tell me what you prefer over the other.
Okay, lovely.
All right, let's go for it. I always looked at what you're wearing to say.
To figure it out.
Yeah. Notch collar or shawl collar?
Notch. Well, yeah, notch.
Okay. Yeah.
If
notch.
it's like a wedding, then shawl, but.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
It's black tie shawl, but normally notch.
All right. Sneakers or loafers?
Loafers. I'm not a real sneaker person.
V-necks or crew necks?
Crew neck.
Crew necks. Yeah. Okay. And fedoras? No, I'm not gonna go that. I'm gonna go a brim. Okay. A brim or a snapback.
Snapback.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like, if I'm gonna wear a hat, it's probably more like a street look. So
okay.
Snapback.
Gotcha. Okay, so we introduced you. So what I want to do is first start off by asking you how you started. That's always the first question. At what point in time did that fashion book bite you and just took hold?
Absolutely. Well, thank you again for having me. So happy to be on the podcast. We met a few weeks ago at our Fashion Fusion Forum event at Spring Place, which was lovely. Super happy to be connected with you and to be here today.
Of course.
So yeah, I mean, I feel like I've always probably like bit me in the womb because
I
mean, yeah, I always say that I've known I wanted to be a fashion designer since I was 4.
Okay.
It's just like the first time I can specifically remember. Like, I love women's fashion in particular. Mm-hmm. I just remember like having distinct memories of like seeing women dressed, these fabulous garments at church. We know like in the black church, the aisle is the runway. It's the first time you see people really dressed in their Sunday best. And I just remember always like helping my mom get dressed or be like, that those stockings are black, not navy, or rather navy, not black. They look black in the dark, and then they're navy when you go outside. And then also one main memory that I have from like 4 or 5, this woman at church was wearing this like red dress with like all these frills and sequins, and it was just fabulous. And she caught the Holy Spirit, and I remember being like, okay, I don't know what's happening. And she like having a seizure, like what's going on, but I just remember like how beautiful the dress was, and I like was more focused like on how her dress was moving. And I remember like going back home and trying to sketch the dress to the best of my ability. Like we had moved past stick figures by that time. Like I've always sketched and drawn. I love illustrations, but I then like so I drew it from memory, and then I also sort of like made like a paper mannequin. Like I would like lay it out, and then I'd draw on it, draw different ideas, and every Sunday I'd come home and like sketch. And I just always knew that I wanted to be a designer. So once I knew that that was a viable career path, I was like, you know, I just loved sketching, loved fashion illustrations, and was always, I think, like I feel like I've always been stylish, but I've always been interested in dressing other people.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So are you a self-taught or are you school-taught?
So in terms of fashion illustration, I did that on my own. Like I've always just drawn. I've been like artistically inclined, and I always was, visual arts has always been a thing that I've done. But in terms of, as my work as a designer, I am school taught. So I went to University of Richmond for undergrad and studied studio art and women's studies. And then I went to Parsons for the AAS program, and I went there in 2013 through 2014. It was fabulous. It was like a dream come true. Like I always wanted to go there, and I always knew that I would. It was just kind of like every step that I took in my educational journey was in the effort of getting into Parsons, because for any fashion school, like I almost went to the MFA program at SCAD. Okay. I got in there, but they needed me to like, it was going to be like slightly more complicated than I really cared for, and it was going to be like a 3-year program rather than I could do like the fast track program at Parsons. Gotcha. So it's normally a 2-year program, but I finished in 1. Because I'm insane, and
you like, come on, let's get
but also like
it.
I'm sorry, the tuition is insane, and I just was like, I'm just gonna like, you know, double up on classes, yeah, no, it was a really great experience. Like I had learned how to sew and how to create garments, and had sort of like a base skill set enough so that I could build my portfolio in order to get into Parsons. And then once I was there, I was like, now I really need to know like more about the industry. Gotcha. And like how to navigate, and like, you know, how do I do marketing? How do I do branding? And all these other aspects like pattern making, sewing, draping. Like I knew how to do those things, but I wanted to really fine tune my skills. So school taught.
Gotcha. Funny, I applied for that master's program at SCAD. I did not get in.
Oh dear. Maybe we applied at the same time.
I think so. Because it was like 20. Actually, because I moved to New York in 2014, so I applied for it at the end of 2014.
Okay, I was 1 year after me.
Yeah, I was like at the end of 2014, and I was just like, I hate New York. I'm gonna move to Atlanta.
Oh
like,
my gosh!
Yeah, but I was like, you know, wait, maybe you give it up on New York. I had just moved here in January, and I applied for that program in like August, because I was over New York like 8 months. I was like, I gotta get the hell out of here. Like this is not it. Figured that out really quickly.
Yeah, I feel like New York is so hard when you first get here, but I feel like if you can. You know the phrase, like, if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere? Well, they actually need to update it to if you can make it 7 to 10 years in New York, you can make it anywhere, because there are a lot of people...
I'm at my 10-year mark.
Yeah, I'm at my 10-year mark, too. And I genuinely can apply to any experience or any opportunity anywhere else. And they're like, well, you did it in New York, so certainly you can do it here. Like, I've had someone actually say that to me. Yeah. In an interview, they're like, well, it's the hardest, you know, it's very competitive there, so certainly you can do it in, like, Minnesota or North Carolina or somewhere else. And so I find that I'm able to go into other markets a lot more, with a lot more ease than I would have, let's say, like, 5 years ago, but certainly at the beginning of my career.
Would you, like, move out of New York?
I will go anywhere that someone is paying me.
I heard that. I heard that.
If they're paying me more in Alabama, I'm going to Alabama.
I hear that.
Please, Alabama, don't call. But, you never know. Like, I've kind of said that, like, about LA. Like, I feel like LA is somewhere in my, you know, in the future, in my journey, because, like, entertainment and fashion sometimes overlap. Oftentimes overlap, but I would only go to LA if they're going to pay me more and because I feel like the quality of life is a little bit better there. Yeah, but and you need a car. You need a car and you need a house. Whereas here, there are ways to rough it.
Yeah, so, definitely. Yeah. Okay, so if you could describe your design aesthetic in 3 adjectives, what would those be?
Oh, wow. 3 adjectives. Okay, so is structured? Yeah, structured.
Absolutely.
Classic.
Structured.
And sexy.
Okay. All right. Structured, classic.
Yeah, and I feel like sexy is kind of like overused and cliche, but that's really it. Like, I love classic silhouettes, but I like
when I
showing
hear
skin.
sexy, I automatically think Laquan Smith. Like,
Oh, yeah,
because I
he's
feel
like
like,
one of my
I love.
Well, I think
I
what I
love
just
sexy.
described is very him. Like, maybe not so much structure, because he does a lot of draping.
Yeah, he does a lot of see-through shit.
Well, that's my thing. So I'm like, you can do like, you know, you can do like a, you know, floor length bodycon dress and have it up to the neck and it be long sleeve. And so technically your full body is covered, but then have it be mesh. Or like have it be lace and then you're actually naked. So it's just like, oh no, I've designed. Yeah, one design I did was like a full body, like, I mean, every inch of her body was covered except maybe like her fingernails, but it was see-through lace. And like on the runway, we had no bra. It was fabulous. I was like, "Are you comfortable showing?" She was like, "Yeah."
I totally wear some shit like that. Not even shit. I'd wear that on vacation.
Oh,
like,
see, I'd wear that to the office with a blazer. But,
really? Yeah, I'd be scared, but I would wear it. Like I would on vacation, vacation Lenise. And New York, completely different. Cause I got a mesh joint that I'm wearing, and I'm going to Bali in May.
Oh yeah.
I'm teaching I'm actually teaching at a fashion designer retreat.
Okay,
teaching a workshop, and in Bali,
I think you mentioned
one day teacher, one day
party.
You already know. So tell me about your most exciting. It could be project or it could be design. Like not even exciting. Like the most memorable for you. Like your hero piece that just like that is the one piece that when I looked at it, I couldn't believe that I did it.
Right. So I'll just talk about the first couture gown that I made. That was really special to me. One, because it was gorgeous, but also because it was the first time. It was the first garment, period, that I had ever created.
Oh, okay.
Like I'd ever sketched out and sewn, and it was like a hand stitch. I was 21. I was in my senior year in undergrad.
Okay.
But I had done this. So it was the first time that I created a dress. Mm-hmm. It was extremely complicated. Like took me probably the whole process was like 3 months, but like from initial concept to getting it on body, but like the you know, doing the pattern making, doing the draping, doing the sewing all by myself. One part of it had to be hand stitched, and it was like intense, and from start to finish, the sewing project took me about like 3 weeks.
Gotcha.
And so it was really significant for me. But the whole project was my junior year of undergrad. I received a undergraduate research fellowship for the summer, where I got to like go travel around the U.S. to various fashion exhibitions and museums, and did all this like archival research to sort of like arm myself with a visual vocabulary to finally understand what couture is.
Gotcha.
And so then from that experience, I was supposed to like, it was 10 weeks, and I was supposed to combine all my experiences and inspirations and images and so on, and design a 18-piece couture collection. Nice. And then they wanted me to make it, but we didn't have that much time. So what we ended up doing was I sketched out everything. The illustrations were all done in colored pencil, which I also learned that I needed to just do it in marker because I could have done more. But I'm very like...
Yeah, I'm anti-colored pencil.
Oh, I love colored pencil. But at that time, I had just finished taking a fashion course in Milan.
And they did marker.
And they did it in colored pencil. They're very old school. Like, they're like, no markers. You have to like... It's because they want like every single stroke to matter.
Gotcha. See, I
like,
do neither one.
This is my thread, basically. Yeah.
I do neither one. So I am a painter.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. So when I sketch or whatever, and I do it very lightly in like a mechanical pencil,
sure.
And I use watercolor.
Watercolors.
Paint.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did one collection in undergrad where we did watercolor. We were required to do watercolor.
I suck at markers. I thought that shit.
Markers, I didn't understand until I got
I mess it up.
If you mess up,
I mess it up bad. Yeah. I'm like, and the color pencils, I think I messed those up bad too.
Colored pencil just takes way too long. But so I designed the whole collection, and one significant experience that happened during that summer, which I talk about in my book, was which had nothing to do with the exhibitions and like the fashion research. I got into a car accident on my way from Virginia to New York. I like hydroplaned off the highway and should have died, but thank God for seatbelts and like well-made cars.
Yes.
But my car like spun off the highway 3 times. It was crazy. I like landed and my car was going like 70 miles per hour, but I managed to brake before jumping back onto the highway. Like literally spin into the woods off the highway. It was crazy. In torrential downpour. I know. It's fine. I'm here.
Right.
I'm not dead.
Thank you.
So after that experience happened, I was actually on my way to see the Alexander McQueen Savage Beauty exhibition at the Met. Mm-hmm. And I was so determined that I was going to that I didn't die in that car accident. Like, that's what I say. I'm like,
put it on McQueen.
Period. So he knew that I needed to see it. So
exactly.
I kept driving after, got myself together, made it to the Met, 9 a.m. in the morning. I was the first one
after
in.
the car accident,
I still kept driving. Oh no, I had to go. What are we doing? I had to make it.
Come on now. That is some dedication right there. Okay.
Yeah, very dedicated.
Okay.
Or crazy. I don't know, whichever one. I mean, it's like not like I could have turned around. Either way, I was going to be driving.
Right.
So I was like, so I showed up. I got to go through the exhibition pretty much by myself because I was the first person there. Mm-hmm. And it was just like so moving to me, one, because Alexander McQueen is one of my biggest design inspirations, but also because I had almost died like the night before.
Right.
And his like literally, and his work is very like gothic and very sort of like dark, but like ethereal and beautiful. So I love that. I love doing that in my work, like doing something that's like classic but sexy, or like really, really intense and like editorial, but also commercially viable. Like, so I love doing those two things, or something that looks classy on the front, but it's like party in the back kind of thing.
I love that.
So, anyway, so all of those experiences happened that summer, and then I created this couture gown, which was like, pretty much head to toe black satin back crepe, and then this like pink ruffle floral moment that like flourished from the waist all the way up and off the shoulder. So it was like this moment. And that was done in like silk gazar that I hand dyed, like had to do a hand dye ombre where it was like white here and then went into like lighter pinks and then up into a dark magenta.
Love that.
And then it was like very, sort of like came off the body like that, but then also out.
Oh, wow.
And that was the part that had to be hand dyed, hand stitched. And then the model was about like my same complexion. And this bodice part was see-through. See-through. I couldn't actually have her breasts hanging out as we were in undergrad. But so then I had to dye white silk, and I had to match it to her skin color so it looked like it was hers. So the process took so long, and this was the first time I made a dress. Like I hadn't sewn a pillow yet. I had not sewn a square. I knew how to sew, but I had not put it into practice. And then I had to make a couture garment. And like,
you did it.
And then I turned it in, and I got an A, and it was a really good.
You got A+.
I did get A+.
Oh, okay. Well,
actually,
A+.
I got A+, and I won the Outstanding Arts Award for seniors that year, which they only give to one student, and I was determined to win once I knew the award was available.
Yes.
We love that. So that was a really great piece. Like it was well received by my peers, my art major, which they were like kind of they were a little skeptical of me in the beginning because they're like, you're a designer, not an artist. I was like, I'm sorry, I feel like they're the same. Fashion,
exactly, without doubt,
if not more. Anyways, but like fashion is art, and certainly couture is art. Like I could understand if you wanted to make the case that like, mass market clothing is not art. I could get that, but fashion that's couture and has meaning, and comes from this sort of emotional place is. So.
Yes, I love that. I love that. So tell me, you told me a lot about like your highs. Can you tell me about some of the challenges you face just being a Black creative, a Black designer, just like in this industry? So I have a segment called "Is a Success or Is a Disaster?"
Right.
So is there anything that that went bad or any obstacles you faced? But it was a learning experience from it.
I mean, how much time do you have? So
we got time.
I mean, I feel like the part of the question that I'll focus on is about being a Black male in this industry, especially the New York fashion industry. It's just like so challenging in the beginning for sure. Okay. And I think that often people who are maybe looking from the outside might not think that it's hard because many of the top American fashion designers right now are Black males. Right. So they're like, oh, Laquan Smith, Sergio Hudson, Charles Harbison, like they made it. And it's like, yes, but do you know how long it took them to get there? Mm-hmm. And so I think, and that's not saying that they weren't working hard. It's that the industry often keeps you down. And I think that, but I do, in any case, I think that it's up to the individual. Bless you. Bless you. It's up to the individual to navigate industries or navigate spaces that are not necessarily built for them.
Absolutely.
And so for me, in the beginning of my career was very challenging because I went from not being in the industry at all, getting into Parsons, and my first internship was at Michael Kors in women's collection.
Nice.
Like my day one experience
was
of
Michael
fashion
Kors.
In the fashion industry in New York was Michael Kors.
Okay.
And this was 2013, so this was like when he was booming, like that 2012 through 2016.
I had some Michael Kors heels at that time. Still
the bag. This is when everybody had the bag. This is where he, went public, and that's why his company really blew up, and in a good way. And I just got thrown in, I think, with like the wolves, which was fine. Like I'm a New Yorker. I can deal with anybody or anything, but I was introduced to like all these sort of intense fashion personalities, and more importantly, and keeping it real, I realized that most of the people in the industry are white women, like behind the scenes, and they're like all daddy's daughters.
Absolutely. Now that I think about it,
yeah, they're
sure
all
the
white
hell
women,
is.
and most of them are mediocre. So that's just the tea.
But that's the truth.
And so I just from my academic career and the various schools that I went to, I was very used to being the one of two black people in a room. So I wasn't unaccustomed to being like the token, as bad as that sounds. But I didn't know that was going to carry on into my professional career. I thought, no, certainly there are black people other places. But I walk into Michael Kors and the company is 500 people and there are 2 black employees, period. And I was one of them, and I was an intern. It was me and this woman who worked in HR. And I was like, oh my God, this is not okay. Like, there are no black men that work at this company. Granted, I got to be in women's collection, but I kept seeing opportunities go to peers of
Mediocre
mine.
white women.
Mediocre white women. Exactly. I was just hoping everybody else got the
I'm going to say it.
And I was like, she's not better than I am. I go to a better school than her. I have better grades than her. We can, I'm saying it the way that I was thinking it
Absolutely.
then. And I have higher academic credentials. I work harder. I've been through the ringer. I've been here longer. Like all of the stats on paper say that I should be given these opportunities, but then she just gets it because she knows somebody and has blonde hair, and it's like, girl, please. But anyway,
they always say to us, not always what you know, is like who you know, which is
but
fucked
the thing
up.
Was, well, the funny thing is, I had actually got the opportunity to interview with Michael Kors because of another white woman who is not mediocre. Hey Sarah. She was in my art program at Richmond, and she texted me one day. She was like, "You're in New York, right? Are you still going to Parsons?" I'm like, "Yes." She said, "I know someone who's on the hiring team at Michael Kors. Do you want the opportunity?" I'm like, "Girl, is water wet?" Yes.
Right.
Like, is an elephant heavy? I do want to go. So I got it through a connection that I wouldn't have known, but I also got it because of my resume and my portfolio.
Absolutely. She gave me
the in, but
but you got it. You brought it on home.
As I always do.
Right.
And so I basically, that experience was illuminating to me because one, I just realized, like, is this going to be my life? And then the couple jobs I had after, every company and each design team, especially the design team, would be all white women. And like, whatever, kudos to them for getting in the door however they got in, but it's like, I worked harder than you to get into this room.
Were these design positions?
These were not design positions.
Okay.
Like, I remember one boss, I will not mention her name, although she knows who she is. She was my senior designer at a company, and she couldn't sketch. Like, babe, how did you get this job?
Right.
Like, she went to a fashion school or a fashion program. She couldn't sketch. She was really good at logistics and managing people, so I think that's why she was a director. Okay. But she was not a good designer, period. Okay. Point blank, period. She wasn't a good designer, and she knows she's not a good designer. She knows. That. And I know I would always be the one that got onto the team because I was a strong designer and had a strong creative vision. I had a strong eye for color, and I just like am naturally inclined to, or naturally gifted, and especially when it comes to fashion. And I had the stats,
right?
So it was like I just kept going, but then I got stuck at the assistant designer level, and I was like, guys, no, I'm not going to do this anymore. So I left the industry for a year. Then I came back and was like, junior designer positions only. I'm not interning anymore. I'm not going to like basically continue being like the bitch on the team.
Can you tell me, because I never, like for me, I always worked in production or product development. How much does an assistant designer start off with a year?
So my first salary, my first one was like 40. Well, they offered me 40, but I got 50.
50. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
In New York, that's...
In New York, 50
0.
as an assistant is true. Oh, yeah, true. Okay. And then it's funny because, like you said, that on design team is nothing but white women. On production is nothing but Asians.
T.
T.
Literally, T. Sorry, that was funny. 100%.
I would never cut that out. Not us cracking up like this.
Sorry. I mean, 100%. It's sorry. T.
Yeah, no.
Straight up. Oh my God, sorry. Okay. Whew.
No, it's okay. We keep it real on the show.
100%. Yeah, our production design, every production person that I work with is Asian. Which is fine. I mean, I worked on teams that had a tech designer, a production manager, whatever. But now in the work that I do, I work with China every day. So
gotcha.
I love them. They get all of my things made. But the production manager, you're right, is always Asian.
Girl, wait.
Yeah.
I was talking about girl. Wait, I gotta tell you, it was this. So it's just this side because it's just funny as hell. I worked at High Point Design under the Moray Group. And the entire production team was Asian except for me. Of course, me. I don't know why. And I hated it. I was so mad. But one of the other ladies who was on the tech team or design team, I don't remember, she was trying to get to know everybody. And she said that she couldn't. She just wanted to know who was who.
Sure.
So she asked all us production team members to stand together so that she could take a picture.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
And it's me, the big black girl, and there's a whole bunch of Asians just like around me. I'm like, do I really need to be in this picture? You just want a picture of them so you can know who's
Yeah, exactly. You're gonna go. Yeah, I don't need to be here.
I
you know
look
who I am.
so stupid.
Yeah.
In the picture because I'm just big, and I'm not even a big girl.
No, yeah.
But I looked huge.
Oh my Lord.
Standing next to all these Asian women on the team.
That is so funny.
And it was like 7 people in the picture, and me like.
Hi.
Pissed off. Like,
you're like, you know who I am.
Yeah. Like, come on, stop playing.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was funny. I mean, it's just always been a learning experience, but I feel like I've grown from all of it. And another thing, going back to what I said earlier about how once you know you're in an industry or any situation where you know that it's not built for you to succeed, it's up to you, the individual, to take responsibility for your own success.
Absolutely.
And I was like, well, if this is how the game is played, then I'm going to play it, but I'm just going to play it better than you, and then I'm going to get everything that I want.
Exactly.
And that's what I've done.
The school that I went to, literally, the tagline was create change and develop your own opportunities. And I had lived by that from day one. So all of these different experiences and stuff that you went through, that's what led to Threading the Needle?
Yes.
All right, so tell me what it's like to be an author and how you even went about like writing this book and like all the different things that you put into it. Tell me about that experience.
So the book is called Threading the Needle, A Fashion Designer's Guide to Successfully Launching Your First Collection. And yeah, literally, that's like the artwork on the cover of the book.
When I saw it, I was just
funny.
like...
Wait a minute.
Yes.
So I think you mentioned this in the intro that I am a design and production consultant now. I also obviously design underneath my own name, but the design and production consulting work was what really led me to want to start talking about the work. And I need one because basically what I do is I have a bunch of clients who come to me as either creative entrepreneurs, designers, or people looking to get into the industry, and I help take their their creative vision from initial concept to market.
Love it.
Creative vision from initial concept to market. And I had been doing that for like the last 5 or 6 years. And at the time of the book, 5 years, now 6. And I had helped launch several ships. Like I've helped launch several brands, several one-off products, usually innovative products that have a lot of, like obviously are fashion products, but have some sort of functionality or some technical aspect or technical quality. And I manage everything from the sketch, the mood board, to the sketch, to the branding, to the website often, to sourcing fabric, sourcing materials, trims, and so on. And then also serving as a liaison between my factory contacts and these clients to help get the product from point A to Z and then onto shelves or sold online. And
Look, I need to hire you on the LC team.
Yeah, hello.
That's what we do. I need an extra pair of hands.
Yeah, okay, I'm available. Like I said,
I need an extra pair of hands.
I will go anywhere there's a check. So I
remember that.
Happy to consult. But at the beginning of last year, I'd sort of hit a wall with getting clients to come to me, and I had my roster, but I was like, no one else is reaching out to me. What's going on? And so I, just did some research and was like, you need to start talking more about your work on podcast interviews like today, but then also just to get your name out there and your face, and also have people associate your name and face to your work and know what you do. But then the main one was you need to write a book, and it needs to be about a very specific niche topic that you do. Like, what is the one thing you do really, really well? Gotcha. Like your guest from a couple shows ago, Ashley Cloud, talks about your zone of genius.
Absolutely. I put that on the caption on the post.
So I was like, what is the one thing I'm really good at? Like, I am like a Renaissance man. I'm good at a lot of stuff, but there's one thing that I'm really good at, and that is being a designer. That is creating collections. If you need me to design a collection and it's Monday and it's due on Friday, I got you. You will have the sketches, you'll have everything, you'll have the tech packs, you'll have everything you need.
I have a question though within that.
Not to close yet, but
a question within that.
Yeah.
So if somebody has you design the collection for them, is there like any rights on like your end?
So
it depends. That designed it.
It depends. So if they reach out and they're like, I just want you to design this one-off, and then I own the sketches and I own the tech packs, I'm happy to do that. That's like a one-off thing. You take it, you go forth and prosper. But there are most times, because I take them through all the steps, so I do the design, tech packs, and I'm there helping them. I'm there until the products are on shelves or sold online.
Gotcha.
Most of the time they will ask me to become a partner or have equity in the company. So I don't need to own the designs necessarily, because I have ownership in the company.
Come on.
Okay.
You guys get down for that one. Okay.
Period.
I'm like, we're talking about those multiple streams of revenue.
Hello.
Okay.
In passive income.
Love that.
Equity is one of my favorite words.
Yes.
So, and once I learned that was possible, then I just try to make myself extremely valuable to them. So it's like, no one else is going to be able to do what I do for you. And and then I can also help you build out a team later. Let's say you don't need me anymore. Then it's fine. I can go, hey, you go on and do it like I showed you what to do. So, and now you have this book as a resource as well, because I basically wanted to talk about the steps and create this roadmap for how to take your creative vision from initial concept to market. You start with building your brand. Then you your brand identity. Then you go into sketching and your mood board, and then you prepare your launch event, and you do like a capsule collection, and you show it at Fashion Week, and then you contact buyers, and then you before the launch you have to do sourcing and manufacturing. So I talk about all of those steps, and I made it like very, very simple. Like, I was like, there's so many books.
When I first saw it, that's the first thing I seen. I'm like, it's thin.
It's thin.
People don't like to read.
It's thin, concise, direct and to the point, very easy to read, because every book is like hundreds of pages, and it's like fluff. And I'm just like not a fluff person. Like, that's just not me. I am a direct and to the point type of person. So I was like, my book needs to also reflect that. And there's like some personal anecdotes in there too, just to make it feel. Oh yeah, you know.
Yeah, okay. Like, I've been reading, and I'm really enjoying it. And I'm like, you know what?
It does.
I knew it before reading it that I was gonna be able to use it like with my clients and stuff like that. And then as I'm reading, I'm like, oh, this is perfect, because it's like this.
Oh no, yeah.
Like literally, if I had to describe it, like
each chapter is 5 pages, and like 5 to 10 at max. I was like, I'm gonna just keep it short and sweet. And then there's like a glossary. There's terms. There's graphics that I use, because prior to writing the book last year, actually, funnily enough, we're on another anniversary today. Last March, I taught like a online course called Threading the Needle, but that one was about how to take any artistic concept from artistic vision from initial concept to market, and that is named the same name as the book, but because it inspired the book. The work that I was doing in preparation for that class, I was like, wait a second, I just did 75 pages that I just presented. 2 more pages in a glossary is a book. As far as I'm concerned.
No, it is.
And a couple personal anecdotes. I was like, I'm going to write a book. And so I ended teaching that course 1 year ago, this week 1 year ago. Wow. And so it's really cool to now be here 1 year later talking about a book and that I wrote. And after having these new events and speaking engagements, it's really just, I knew that once I started putting my work out there, I would, one, get more clients, which was what the initial purpose was, but I would also gain interest from people in the fashion industry, and then hopefully get the word out that, like, starting your company can be like hard. It is hard, and it seems like a daunting process. And I feel like if there could just be a guide out there that's straight and to the point, easy to read, with terms that you can always go back to if you get lost, then I can hopefully serve as a launching pad for other designers. And when I wrote it, I had designers of color in mind.
Right.
Because of what we talked about earlier, how the industry is not really built for us to succeed. So there has to be more of us speaking up and talking about our experiences openly and honestly.
Yeah.
You know, some things we don't need to spill the tea too much on.
I be spilling the tea on this podcast.
I spill the tea all the time.
I be spilling the tea. I'm like, this is what it is. This is what it is. I talk about everything because, you know, I was watching, I saw something on Instagram the other day about how we love the fact, you know, that everyone, not everyone, but that a lot of Black creatives are starting to have, not just creatives, just Black people, period, are going towards ownership. They're going towards small businesses all the time. But we cannot negate to not give them fluff for the ones that has been doing it a little bit longer. We gotta serve as a vessel to tell them what it is. Like, yes, owning and ownership is great, but it's also hell that comes with it too. You know, there's a lot of, and it's like being able to balance those things and just having like thick skin, honestly.
Yeah, that's a really, I mean, I wish I had written that in the, well, I did say, I mentioned that it's like a cutthroat industry, but I feel like you do really have to have a thick skin to be a creative of any type, but certainly in the fashion industry, because you have to deal with like the money people, like you have to deal with boards, and you have to deal with corporate, you know, expectations and retail rules and all of that. And it's like, you might think you have the best idea, like the best creative idea since sliced bread, but sliced bread already exists. So it's like,
that's a fact.
and like it's very hard to be original as an artist now. And you need to, and which is like whatever because of like the internet and social media, but it's hard to stand out is what I mean. It's hard to stand out in our industry because it's so crowded.
It's so saturated.
And there's always going to be somebody that's better than you, and the sooner you realize that, the better. Like I was very gung ho when I got to Parsons. I was like, no, I'm the best. But it helped me because I had blinders on, which is kind of how I operate in general. But I don't know if anybody else was better than me because I didn't look at their work.
I wouldn't know. I wasn't there.
I really wouldn't know. You'd
it.
have to ask them. I really don't know. I was there. I took my classes. I sewed. I went in. I sketched. I sewed. I draped. I did my patterns. I presented my portfolio. And I think I participated in the critiques, but I don't remember. Like I really was like I was there. I hated critique. Well, I like critique, but I'm often too real for people in critique. I told this one girl that she sucked, and the perfect verbatim. She knew she sucked. Just like the other designers, like, girl, you can't sketch. But like the foundation for being a designer, step one. But no, she just presented something, and I was like, I think you might have misunderstood the rubric or like the assignment. We all clearly did, but what you're presenting is not right. Ooh. It's like maybe you have the talent, but babe, did you read the instructions?
What did the professor say?
He agreed.
Okay.
He was like, your delivery wasn't great. And I was like, I said what I said and I'm not changing it.
Oh, shit. You know what's crazy, though? I would love that, because I'd be the girl in the back. I'm like,
yes, there was a Black girl in my class and she was like, I thought the same thing.
Exactly. Because there wasn't that many of us. And even like in my school, same. I was the only Black girl in a lot of my classes. I would give my feedback here and there or whatever, but I didn't say too much until like senior thesis. That's when I'm like, all right now.
Oh no, you got to keep it real in senior thesis. If you don't, then you're doing them a disservice.
Exactly. So before that, I wouldn't say too much, but senior thesis, like, all right, we already been here 4 years now.
Yeah, actually.
5, actually, because I was in the BLA program.
Right.
We was there for 5 years. I know what the fuck you doing over here.
No, seriously, because no way we're competing in the same class.
Ain't no way.
If she is getting a C, then I need an A+++++. Actually, I was the only Black male in Parsons in my whole program as well, which I don't think I even noticed because I was so focused, but we had 2 or 3 Black girls, and of course we all took classes together because once we saw each other, we're like, hey girl, come on over here.
All right, what section you in?
Exactly. You take the homework on Monday, I'll take the homework on Wednesday, and then we're busy, okay?
It'd be the ain't no community without unity.
Period.
Like,
UNITY.
Yes,
yeah,
I love
very that.
All right, so my last segment before we get out of here is called It's a Muse.
Okay.
I'd like you to share whether it's a quote, a mantra, an affirmation, a prayer, anything like that you would want to give to another creative to keep them going. And I want you to tell me what it means to be Black in fashion to you.
Okay, so I have a few quotes that I always like to say. One is always be a first-rate version of yourself instead of a second-rate version of someone else.
The original.
The original. Just like I think it's really important to always strive to just be you, like be the best version of you, whatever that is. Okay. Because when you are out here trying to be like, oh, I want to be like that designer or that artist, like you're always going to just always be compared to them, and you will always be second best. And I'm sorry, but second place is not a place that I like to reside. And then the other one is always seek feedback from those in the arena, not those booing from the cheap seats.
Mm-hmm. Hold on, I got to write that one down
that's
now.
The amen
hold
moment.
on, yes, hold on, because I'm gonna forget that later. So I'm about to write that down right now. Get feedback from the people in the arena. My caption arena. Note list, so I can
notable quotables.
I'll make sure that I give you credit, baby, because I'm just like, wait, one more time.
Okay, I got you.
Take seats, bro. Take advice.
It's always seek feedback.
Always seek feedback
from those in the arena.
From those in the arena.
Rather than those booing from the cheap seats.
I was going to say the parking lot.
Well, those are the cheap seats.
Right.
Booing from online or like in the comments on social media. It's like
cheap seats.
They're not there.
Or worse, the parking lot.
And I feel like that one is pretty self-explanatory, but it's something that I really had to learn over the last few years, that I wanted to start getting critique and listening to critique from people who are in my industry, or entrepreneurs or artists or creatives or Black people or anybody, like anything that is crosses over with me. Like, do you have the same experiences that I have? If not, then like what are we talking about?
Facts.
Nothing. And like your opinion, I guess, like matters over there, but it doesn't matter to me. I'm not going to let it change the course of what I do. Like I mentioned social media just a second ago. That can be applied there too. Like I'm not a comment reader. I don't know who follows me, and I don't know anything about the comments. I'm sorry. If you followed me, I didn't follow back, I sincerely apologize. But I don't really like look on. It's there as a vehicle to get the word out.
Right.
If someone comes in that's like, I don't like your outfit. Good, I don't like you because I don't know you.
Okay.
It's like I don't know you.
I'm not a comment. I'm not a comment reader. I'm not a comment reader. I'm not a comment reader either.
I'm not a commenter. Like I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I'm a liker. Like
I like.
But like as far as like and if I do write a comment, it's probably one word.
One word or an emoji.
Yeah.
An emoji. I'm like, who has time to write a paragraph underneath?
I say yes.
I'm good. I barely can write my own captions, let alone a comment.
Sis.
Yeah, that very yes, girl, work.
Yes.
Like I'm very quick with a comment, but I don't read the comments. If I do and I see something negative, I leave it there.
Girl.
Engage in conversation.
Girl.
No, it's fine.
I'm sorry.
Engage in conversation.
Side note.
Yeah.
Side note. It just made me think about something. I had a lady come to me not that long ago, and she was just like, I just want to see what you can do for me. And I was just like, but she paid for a consultation. My consultation's like $350. So I was just like, but you paid me. I was trying to see what you could do, like what you got to offer. Well, you didn't pay me. So she's like, wait, I had to do my due diligence. And I had to read up on you on Google, and there was some not so good comments.
I saw you talking about this.
And I was just like, okay.
So
do you want
to work with? I don't know.
That's why I thought about it, because I was like, I don't read comments.
I was unaware.
I'm not really sure.
I have a 5-star rating on all platforms, so I'm good. Thank you. But yeah, I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I feel like if someone wants to reach out and get a consultation, fine. I'm still gonna get the money.
Exactly.
I can't with people, but sorry, people are annoying.
And then what does it mean to be
sometimes you find
fashion?
some gems.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are my 2 quotes, and one last one, which is from Lena Horne in The Wiz. Believe in yourself as I believe in you. So that is a very like light note to end on. That it's my last quote in the book, where it's like, just like I want this book to be a vehicle or a resource for people to always go back to if they get lost in their journey in the industry or in any process where they're trying to launch something and like get their word out or get their product out into the world. And just remember that there are people like us who have been through it before, who do believe in you, perhaps from a distance, but we still believe in you, and you can come to us as a resource. So that's my last quote. And then what does it mean to be Black in fashion? I think that being Black in fashion is about bringing your best self to the table at all times. And being willing to bring a red folding chair to said table if you do not get
Shirley
it.
Chisholm.
Hello, if you don't, which is on Netflix right now. They're not paying me to say that.
Yeah. I started watching it already.
But also being willing to do that extra work. So like bring your red folding chair to a table you're not invited to. Most people know the history of that, but it's like, you didn't prepare a seat for me here, but I'm still coming to the table. I'm inviting myself to the meeting. I'm putting myself up for opportunities that you might not think I'm qualified for whatever reason, but I am. And I'm always going to put myself in the room, and I'm always going to put my best foot forward. So I think that that's really what it means, because again, this is an industry that wasn't really built for us to succeed, and it's built by people who don't look like us, and they generally, they're still the majority in the industry. But I think that the work and the creative output that we give to the world is what actually moves culture.
Yes. I love that.
Hello.
Yes.
Like, I feel like we're the culture creators, and
there's a whole bunch of culture vultures.
Period.
But that's
why they always appropriate and put, it, like, I think I saw this quote where it was like, it was in the hood before it was on the runway or something like that, which is true. Like, cornrows being on the runway. Okay, girl. Like, we know where that came from, but I think that we have such a rich history wherever we're from, and it's like imperative that we share it with the world, and like let the creative vision come straight from the horse's mouth. We are the people with the experience and the culture, and we should be the voices that get the credit for it, not those people over there.
I love that. Okay, I hear that. You know what I was going to add on to, you said to bring the folding chair and do it like our good old friends and family in Alabama.
Exactly.
On the dock.
Okay. Exactly.
And you got to knock it over their head to let them
know.
Oh
my God, LOL, period.
Like my great friends in Alabama did the folding chair. Bring it and be ready to swing
if need be. Oh my God, that's so funny. Yeah. I was like not even thinking that when I said that, but now the red fold, well, it was a white fold.
It was white, yeah. Down like, okay. If you gotta swing it, you gotta swing
it. Period.
Yeah,
I heard you were talking shit.
Yeah.
So I swam over and boom, but no, literally. I mean, I feel like we do sometimes have to come and be like aggressive, however that may be, but
own your place.
Always emphasis on own. And I just feel like make your space and make your voice heard and make your creative vision seen, because I think that we are blessed with like a gift and a again, like a really rich history and like our experiences. Like an individual Black person often has more cultural depth than like a whole room full of those people.
27, 25, 26s? You ever heard that? I'll tell you offline.
Okay, great. Ooh, tea. Okay, I can't wait to find out.
Is it 25?
Well, let me explain a perfect example of that. Remember at the Oscars when Jennifer Hudson sang "And I'm Telling You I'm Not Going," and then 2 minutes later the entire cast of Les Mis had to sing, and she still outsang them? That's what I'm trying to explain here.
Exactly.
One Jennifer Hudson,
so 25,
80 of them.
25, 26 is just like the last. I'm sorry, 25, 26 is the last two letters in the alphabet. It's like it's like 24, 25.
Oh, I got it.
Yeah.
Okay. That's funny.
Somebody from HBCU taught me that.
Oh, that's funny. Yep,
yeah.
I got it.
Yeah. All right. So thank you so much for joining me today.
Oh my God. Thank you.
Now, I just want you to throw out your social media and how to connect with you, how to contact you for services. Of course, we're going to put all this information in the show notes, but for us out there listening and not reading, we're going to say it verbally.
Right, okay.
Go ahead.
Absolutely. Well, again, thank you so much for having me on the podcast. My name is KADEEM ALPHANSO FYFFE. And you all can find me online. You can just really type my name into Google. I'm the only one, but my period. Okay, but my Instagram is K_ALPHANSO, and you can find the book "Threading the Needle: A Fashion Designer's Guide to Successfully Launching Your First Collection."
Also in the show notes.
Period. That link will be to Amazon, where the book is available as an ebook, a paperback, and also an audiobook, so you can hear my lovely voice a little bit more. And so the book is available there, and it's also the book is available anywhere books are sold online, and the audiobook is also available anywhere audiobooks are sold online. And then if you would like to reach out for a consult, again, just like find my link tree, which is in the links in my Instagram. And so I'm around. My name is unique. You can find me, and a couple of announcements. One will be an exclusive to you. Okay. So I oh my gosh. Oh yeah, I'll be showing a collection. I'll be showing my first solo collection. For New York Fashion Week. I've shown before, but they were collaborations.
Nice.
So I'll be showing with Harlem Fashion Week. I just got approved the other week. So I'll be showing a 15-piece collection with them. That'll be more ready to wear. And I will be doing a very special project that'll be in November. More details to follow, but I'm doing like a tribute to Black fashion at the Kennedy Center Honors in partnership with the Kennedy Center. So that will be happening in November, and I found that out 2 days ago, and so happy to be able to share that here. I didn't sign anything saying I couldn't say it, so
this come out next week.
Period. So Fashion Week and also that. So I have like a lot of cool things on the horizon, and I'm just like super happy to again come on the podcast. I'm so happy that we met, and I'm just happy that I got to connect with your audience. So thanks.
Thank you so much. Right, and as I always say, guys, stay black.
Okay.
Have you ever watched them sit? I always say that.
I have.
All right, stay black.
Oh my gosh, so funny.